playoffs. We only got a couple of games, so we're gonna quickly break them down and give our picks for them as well. So you don't worry, everybody. We've come down to this. There are 4 teams remaining. Taking a look at the bracket now. Chiefs versus Bills, Eagles versus Commanders, a battle of the NFC East, not named the Cowboys, and then a rivalry as old as time with the Chiefs and the Bills. We'll start with the NFC because, well, just Kelcey's blood pressure is already high, so let's get it out of the way. Eagles 6.5-point favorites over the Commanders. The Commanders upset both of us who picked the Lions last week, both sitting at 4-6 now for our spread picks for the playoffs. Kelcey, do the Commanders cover/win, or do the Eagles fly to the Super Bowl?
So fun fact for you, the last time the Commanders beat the Lions in the playoffs was a Super Bowl victory for the Commanders. That's when they ended up going on to win the Super Bowl for the then Redskins. With that said, this Eagles team and Saquon looks like a man on the mission. And supposedly, I don't know how much this is true, supposedly there were a number of former Giants teammates in the box while they demolished the Rams. And if that's true, then not only is Saquon doing this for himself, he's doing this to all the Giants players that were with him. And that's a terrifying thought. I think this comes down to Jalen versus Jaden. I don't think anybody's going to doubt me in that theory. Jaden's been the most outstanding rookie quarterback this year, and I don't think it's close. Bo Nix had a case, but there was that middle part of the season, early to middle part of the season, where he just was not useful. Jaden Daniels, though, has been the guy. Just continues to dominate. Who would have thought an Arizona State quarterback would eventually turn into this? Yes, I said Arizona State, and I stand by that. And then for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, you just have to worry he's going to continue to play it too safe. And I think against the Commanders, you have to be able to air it out. And I think you have A.J. Brown opportunities, Devontae Smith opportunities. With all that said, I'm going to say Saquon and the Eagles get the victory, but it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. So, yeah, give me the Eagles.
So you're in the Eagles and to cover 6.5. Or do you take the Palmies to cover 6.5?
I'm going to take the Commanders to cover 6.5.
Okay.
But I'm taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles to win, Commanders to cover.
Okay, that's perfectly fair. And the way the Commanders did it last week, it's kind of hard to not pick them at that point when we picked them to not cover as 9.5, and they demolished. I look at it too. What I think's interesting is that Lions team was basically good for the getting in hindsight. All the injuries that had piled up over time, like they just did not have the horses offensively. Quinyon Mitchell does play, which I think he's expected to for the Eagles if he is able to bounce. Terry McLaurin is not going to run down the sideline the same way with Quinyon Mitchell out there. Defensively, the Eagles are a lot more sound. Offensively, Jalen doesn't really throw it or take enough risk to throw 4 picks like that. More off the offense is built around throwing the ball to Saquon or Jalen getting sacked half the time. So I think they're going to find a way to win. I think they're going to cover. When they did play the Eagles with Jalen and Jaden both playing the first time, they controlled the Commanders pretty comfortably. I know the second time when Jalen went down, Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee came in, and that was, interesting. But either way, I'm going to take the Eagles, and I think they'll find a way to cover. I think they'll find a way to get to the Super Bowl. No rookie quarterback has gone to – rookie quarterbacks are 0-4 since the turn of the century in championship games. I think that will continue. I think somehow, some way, it'll be like a 3-point game, and Saquon's going to bust off another 50-yarder to cover it. Just find a way to do it. So we're going to take the Eagles to win and cover at 6.5. So they'll win by more than a touchdown and punch their ticket to New Orleans in the Super Bowl, where they will be taking on the winner of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs minus 2-point favorites. So, Kelcey, last year the Chiefs were underdogs in Buffalo. Now the Bills are underdogs in Kansas City. At this point, it's almost who do you think is going to win? I mean, you could pick the spread if you want to say someone covers, but that's 2 points. At this point, you're picking the winner.
I hate this game. I hate 2-point spreads. I hate everything about playing in Kansas City for an AFC Championship game because it's either going to be icy and cold as can be, or it's going to be 40, 50 degrees, breezy, and just kind of meh, and then you're not making field goals because of the wind. Like it swirls in Arrowhead or whatever it's called now. Anyways, screw it. I'm going to say the Bills. I'm going to say they win. I upset, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say the Bills win in this case because at that point they cover the 2-point spread. So, yeah, give me the Bills. No rhyme or reason other than the fact that I just feel like you mentioned the stat earlier, 30 and 30, rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns. Josh Allen's been exceptional. Probably odds-on MVP for most people. Not my MVP, but I don't care. I'd still pick him to be MVP if I had to pick a backup option. So yeah, give me Josh Allen and the Bills against the Chiefs and the refs.
You want to know how stupid this game really is? Josh Allen is 4-0 is now 4-0 both straight up and versus the spread in his last 4 regular season games against Kansas City. Problem is Mahomes is 3-0 against the spread and straight up in the postseason matchups over Buffalo. So it's like, which one is going to give at this point? Obviously, Buffalo is the only team to actually beat Kansas City this year, not counting that last week where the Carson Wentz Chiefs lost to the Broncos. We're not going to count that one. The Bills coming off a incredible win over the Ravens, who many people argue could have been the Super Bowl bound Ravens after demolishing the Broncos week 1. In the wild card, the Chiefs, I'm not going to say squeaking by the Texans because they were in control of that game, but there was a lot left to be desired, and we're not even including the zebra factor of it or the flailing. There will be guaranteed each one of these quarterbacks will flail and flop like it's prime James Harden and LeBron from the mid 2010s. Guaranteed, because that's what they both do very well. Since the implementation of the Super Wild Card, every Super Bowl has included at least one of the number 1 seeds. And since the lines are out, I feel like at that point, the inevitability is going to kick in an Arrowhead again. So I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to go with the blasphemy here. The Bills will cover that +2, but the Chiefs will win the game. Somehow it will be a 1-point game because the Chiefs are the worst awesome team at covering the spread I've ever seen in my life. So somehow the Bills will cover this +2-point spread and lose by 1 point to the Chiefs because that is the most heartbreaking way this could possibly go down. Whether it's a missed field goal, a blocked field goal, or a made field goal, whatever it is, I'm gonna take the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. The inevitable happens. They get another rematch because that's how their Super Bowls go. You face the Niners, you face the Eagles, you rematch the Niners, you rematch the Eagles. The dynasty run of beating 2 teams continues. It's the Cavaliers and the Warriors all over again, but with a twist. So we'll take the Bills to magically cover as well. I'm with you on that one at +2, but we're going to take the Chiefs to win the game and just setting up an Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl that nobody wants. And by nobody, I mostly mean you.
Nobody wants this. I'm sorry. I want truthfully, I want a Bills Commanders matchup, but not all beggars can be choosers here. Yeah, I'll at least take one of those 2. That's all I care about.
Hey, you know what? It's perfectly fair, and I think that's a matchup that'd be great as well. I kind of hope yours is right more than mine. I really hope yours is right as well. So every time I pick the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, they haven't gone to the Super Bowl. Every time I haven't picked them to go to the Super Bowl, they've gone to the Super Bowl. It feels like in the last 4 years. So maybe the reverse psychology kicks in here. I don't know, but since we are in the championship round, we only have these couple of games. We don't want to end the segment just like that. So with each game, we're going to transition out to talking about our top props for each game as well. So Kelcey, we'll go ahead and let you go first. Commanders, Eagles, what prop bet are we looking at in addition to the spread?
Yeah, so it's hard for these matchups, these championship matchups, to find a prop that I really love. So I always end up in the specials category of every betting app. And one of these apps that has a crown on it, they have a player special for AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin to combine for a 175 plus receiving yards. I'm hammering this one. It's plus 225 odds. I am going to take this one because this is a money maker. I think the Commanders can get got, and I think the Eagles can get got. Even if Kenyon Mitchell is playing, I still think if they drop into that cover 2 shell, they have opportunities to get caught. And McLaurin is being found. And Jaden Daniels, you said it's never happened that a rookie quarterback has been able to win in these games. Well, Jaden Daniels has broken every other rookie quarterback record in the playoffs, other than this. And so it wouldn't surprise me to see Jaden Daniels pull some magic off, and hit Terry McLaurin for 300 plus yards. Not really Terry getting 300 plus, but in general. But that's also going to mean Terry's going to get a big chunk of that. So him, and we all know AJ Brown's going to be up there for 40 plus at least in one reception. So yeah, give me an opportunity to get AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin here with 175 plus receiving yards for plus 225.
Depending on how some of these teams have played defense at different points in the year, one of them alone could get 175. It's very possible, especially with the way the Commanders sometimes get taken over the top defensively. It should be a very unique matchup for sure. I'm going to stick with the quarterbacks, but I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts over 29.5 rushing yards. Set at minus 114. The over-under is at 29.5. I think they're going to key in a lot on Saquon Barkley, as they should. And I think I think instead of trying to go through the air on that, it's going to give Jalen Hurts a lot of opportunities for the keepers on those back doors. The different push-pull action with the guards coming around the backside. Kind of like we saw that touchdown run against the Rams where everyone starts to flow where they think Saquon's going. Jordan Mailata pulls the backside, and he probably could have scored himself on that one because no one wanted to get in his way. Jalen Hurts walks into the end zone. So we're going to go Jalen Hurts basically over 30 rushing yards or more, set it over 29.5. I think he's going to cook them on the ground more so than through the air. I think they're still going to control a lot of the game and possessions with Jalen Hurts on the ground as everyone keys in on number 26, rightfully so. And that's now going to take us into the AFC Championship game. So, Kelcey, the Bills, the Chiefs, should be a high-flying game, but we all know how every time we think it's a high-flying game, it never is a high-flying game, but then it is a high-flying game. How are we feeling with this one? What's the top prop for this one?
Yeah, again, I tend to shy away from the regular basic props. I'm going back into the player and game specials again in that same app with a crown on it. And I am looking at Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, but maybe not for the stat people are thinking. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes each record 5+ rushing yards in each quarter. We all know Patty will rush, and we've seen it last game. We'll see it again this game. We saw it all throughout every playoff he's ever been in. He does rush regularly in the playoff games to get 5 yards and get out of bounds eventually, or slide and get a penalty. Josh Allen, we all know his penchant for running. I mean, enough 4th and 1s, 3rd and 1s, he's going to get 5 yards alone that way. And this special is at a plus 5,000 odds. It's a long shot in the sports books, but I think it's not really a long shot if you've watched them play. I think in the playoffs specifically, these two guys love to make the plays, and we all know Patty's going through some drama in the news with the referees. So there's going to be something there. And with Josh Allen, the dude is a dual threat if there's ever been one. So yeah, give me those two to get 5+ rushing yards in each quarter at plus 5,000 odds, which is crazy, but I'm doing it anyways.
Wow, you're more or less trying to burn money here, is what you're saying. You're going to set that on fire.
I'm winning something, or I'm burning $5. I don't know which one it is.
It's one way or the other. Something dramatic is happening. So I'm going to reel mine in by a few thousand odds with the one I'm going to pick for sure. I don't normally love anytime touchdowns, but we're going to take an anytime touchdown. We're going to take the Travis Kelcey anytime touchdown. Plus 130. He's 2 touchdowns away from having the all-time postseason record for touchdowns, I believe. He's closing on all the records. Against the Bills early this year, he had like 2 catches for 8 yards or something ridiculous. That is not going to fly again. No matter what happens this game, that is not going to happen again. Travis has maybe, 3 good games of being Travis Kelcey left in his career. One of the last games of the year, Brett, you can't hold anything back now. So I think they're going – last week, DeAndre Hopkins caught 0 passes for like the first time in his life. Juju Smith-Schuster caught 0 passes. The only receiver who caught a pass was Xavier Worthy. It was the Travis Kelcey show. I don't think he'll quite do that this week, but I do think he's going to get involved. And in the red zone, we already know Patrick to Travis Kelcey is like death and taxes in the postseason. So they'll find a way to get a touchdown. He'll get one step closer to history, plus 130 odds. In the postseason, I'll take that every single time. So we're going to get Travis Kelcey anytime touchdown. Last week, it was a little sketchy, but he did get it eventually. So I think this week he finds a way to get in the end zone again.
I like it. I don't hate it at all. I think Travis Kelcey, we talked about it in the lead into the playoffs. Travis Kelcey is ready to set that record. It's the next thing on the docket for the Chiefs. They want to get a 4th title, and they want to get Travis Kelcey this record.
And get the 3-peat on top of it too. Like they can't keep getting away with it, but they keep getting away with it. So the death and taxes and the Chiefs' inevitability is what we're looking at here. But